Welcome to the Hurricane High School student safety video. We made this video because we need you to know that first, your safety is important to us, and there are certain procedures that we'd like you to know and know how to do at a high level to keep you as safe as possible here at Hurricane High School. So, one of the first things we want to go over is how to properly do a fire drill and an evacuation. Again, your safety is as important as it can be to us. And sometimes the safest place for you to be is outside. So we have to be able to, again, safely evacuate the school. And as we're doing that during a fire alarm, there's a couple different steps that you need to understand. The first is when the fire alarm goes off, you need to gather your stuff, gather your cell phone, gather your purse, wallet, keys, because you are going to be leaving your backpack in the school. Okay. Once you have everything gathered, you will sit and wait to be excused from class. Do not immediately evacuate. This needs to be done in a nice, orderly fashion. Do not worry, even if there were a fire, every wall in this school will last up to an hour with a fire on the other side of it. So you are perfectly safe while we're waiting to safely evacuate. Once we start evacuating, really important that you keep all of your conversations to a minimum and any conversation keep at a low level. If we need to find alternative routes and communicate that with you, we don't want to have to speak over other students' conversations. So if you can keep those to a minimum, that would be the safest thing for us to do. And again, at this point, you shouldn't see any backpacks. All the backpacks should be left in the room. The safest place for those backpacks to be is in the room, because if you take them out to the field, they'll be left on the sidewalk outside of the football stadium. So again, the happiest place for them to be is in a classroom, locked up with no one around. All right, to get to the correct place on the football field, the first thing you need to do is find your FD advisor. If you do not know who that is, if you go to Power School, and you're more than welcome to pause this video and do this, go find at the bottom of your schedule who your FD advisor is. Their names will be over here. And what you really need to focus on is their last name. You're organized alphabetically by their last name on the football field. And so you'll line up on this. Feel free to pause this. There's also a chart for this on your survey. So find your teacher. In this student's case, they found Mrs. Bundy, and she's on the 20-yard line. Now, there are two 20-yard lines on a football field, so you need to make sure you know which side you're on. The north side of the football field is the side closest to Ace Hardware. The south side of the football field is by the flagpole and the scoreboard. Okay. Now, you'll notice that there are two sides of the football field as well. The east side of the football field, if you're over here, you are closest to the school. So that's the east side, and that would make the west side the side farther away from the school and closest to our home bleachers. So this student would line up on the 20-yard line in the southwest corner of the football field. Okay, make sure you look through that. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher. Okay, the next drill we need to work on is the lockdown drill. So in a lockdown, we need you to be as safe as possible by finding a safe location and securing yourself there. So the first thing you need to do is to get to a room that you can lock. Once you get inside that room, you need to make sure that you lock the door. Once you've locked the door and secured it, make sure that you can now get to a safe space. Now, a safe place is where you can sit quietly and not be seen. And once you do that, make sure that you've silenced your phone. And from this point on and during the drill, you do not open the door. During a drill or a real lockdown, you need to not open the door. When it is safe, an official with a key will come and open it from the outside. So whether they say that they're in trouble, or that they're the police, or that they're the fire department, or that they're a principal, They will open the door. You do not. Okay, moving to a lockout. In the case of a lockout, the threat is outside the school. So because the threat is outside the school, we will lock all of the exterior doors, but classes inside of the school will run just normally. Do not open any doors to the outside during a lockout. Do not go outside during a lockout. And make sure no one should be in the halls except to go to their next class. So hall passes are not used during a lockout. The halls need to be clear during the entire time. Now, if you're in a class that happens to have to leave the main building of the high school, ask your teachers about where you are going to meet to get to and from that class during a lockout. They'll have the right answer for you. Okay, and the last thing we need to know how to do is how to be prepared for an earthquake. So during an earthquake, the first thing we need to do is, recognize that there is an earthquake. Once you recognize an earthquake, watch how great these students are. Right underneath their seats, right there. And notice the great thing they're doing is holding on to one or two parts of the desk that they're under, because things will fall and things will shift, including the desk you're under. So make sure you're holding onto that desk to keep it in place and watch out for debris. Now, similar to a normal evacuation at this point, you are going to stay in place. These students should stay where they're at, underneath their desks. They might be able to start gathering some items, maybe grab a jacket, because you are going to leave your backpack in the classroom. And then you will have either a fire alarm or a verbal evacuation will come out over the loudspeaker, and then you will evacuate your class just like it was a fire drill or any other evacuation. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this. Make sure you complete and submit your student emergency checkup. And thank you so much for completing this. I hope you have a safe day.